guys, welcome to another video. In today's video we're going to be discussing the Fire Pet Witch Doctor Guide. Now this spec is incredibly fun, and the great news is you don't need a whole lot of gear to really get off the ground with this spec. Okay, so we're going to go into it real quick. As you can see in the background, I'm showing you Paragon points, talents, etc., and I don't have a lot of the gear that you really need to make this spec overpowered, but I can still do tier 3 riffs no problem at all with this build. So the biggest thing that you have to understand is how the spec works. So the main thing that you're doing is Piranha-nado is going to suck everything up, make it take increased damage. Your zombie dogs are going to be out beating the hell out of stuff, and then you have your fetish army and your gargantuan as your DPS cooldowns. Okay, so you're pretty much letting your pets do a lot of the work. Now I like to use Spirit Walk mainly because it's one of the best talents in the game. It allows you to get out of CC. It allows you to get out of harm's way. It's just overall really good for, especially as you get into the higher torment levels. It's just an overpowered ability. I really like having it on all my specs. And then I'm using, like I said, Piranha-nado to suck everything in, and then Vampire Bats is my main damaging ability. Everything else is basically pet damage and buffs. Okay, that's pretty much all I'm using. So, gear-wise, there are a couple pieces of gear that are super important, and as you get these pieces, you can really up the difficulty that you're rifting and really do a ton more DPS. So obviously the Mask of Jerem, the one that gives your pets 80% more attack, that is ridiculous. 80 to 100 actually, they just changed it, so it's 80 to 100% on the helmet. I do not have that helmet yet. I've been spending blood shards like it's my job trying to get it though. Gloves, either Mage Fists or Tasker and Theo. Tasker and Theo are a little bit better, but if you can get yourself a really nice pair of Mage Fists like I have, you know, it's a very minuscule side grade at that point just because of the fire damage. So remember, as you look through the talents that I'm scrolling through, they're all fire-based talents, so we want fire damage on our gear. So our neck piece, Burning Axe of Sankus, until we can get things like a Gidbin. A Gidbin is an amazing dagger for this. Depending on how much fire damage you have, if you can get a decent Sankus, stick with that. That's going to be your best overall, but the Gidbin is super strong because it has a chance to proc a fetish, and fetishes do the majority of your DPS in this spec. As we go through some other pieces of gear, obviously the Zuni Force set, super awesome because your fetish army never goes away, so you're constantly doing an absolute truck ton of damage all the time. So as soon as you can get your Zunis, go get your Zunis. Augilds is very nice for this set, keeps you alive a little bit longer. It allows your pets to really just destroy the elite mobs. I recommend, you know, if you can get away with using it, use it. Offhands, there's the zombie dog one. There's also another one that I've been trying to get, and once I actually get it, I'll let you know. Boots, like, you know, kind of whatever you can find. Again, our biggest things that we really want to go for is the helm and the Zuni's piece. Cinder Coat, again, also incredibly important. That Cinder Coat, because of all your fire damage spells, you pretty much get the resource cost reduction plus all that fire damage. It's very nice to have. So you want to keep that in mind. That's kind of what you're going for, is again, Zuni's, Tasker Theo, Mage Fist, and then your helm, you want that mask so that you can get all that extra pet damage, and then after that you really want to stack fire damage because it buffs your Vampire Bats. As far as Paragon points, attack speed, crit hit, and crit hit damage are most important, then crit hit chance comes right after that. The reason we want attack speed is because the faster we attack with our Vampire Bats, the more fetishes we spawn. The more fetishes we spawn, the harder we're hitting. It's a vicious cycle. Obviously, crit hit damage, you know, when you do crits like a truck. Your Gargantuan, you know, I've seen him crit upwards without any buffs, you know, just in Piranha-nado. I have actually seen him crit for anywhere from 40 to 60 million, and that is without really a ton of buffs. Okay, that's just pretty much with the gear I'm wearing right now. If I can get the right things to line up, I can really smash that. Belt-wise, Harrington's is awesome. The Haunt Belt is awesome. But again, we're always building. We're building towards that Zuni set, and then we're stacking that fire damage, that fetish psychopath damage, and that pet damage, because that's where we're going to see a majority of our DPS. That's how we're going to get into T6 and be able to handle it no problem. So, as far as the talents go, what are we looking for there? Pretty simple, actually. You know, our passives, we want to use Graven Justice. Graven Justice is by far the best ever. The reason it's so good is because it reduces our cooldown all the time, so we can do things like spam more Piranha-nados. We can use more Spirit Walks if need be. We get our Gargantuan out faster. Our Fetish Army, if we don't have our 4-piece Zuni yet, our Fetish Army gets out faster. The more DPS cooldowns we can do, the more time we can have those big pets out, that big burst DPS coming out, the better our life's going to be rifting. So keep that in mind. Pierce the Veil. Again, because we only really have one mana using ability for damage, which is Vamp Bats, and it's channeled, you know, the extra mana cost doesn't really affect us a whole lot. So having that extra damage at the at the cost of mana, I really like the way that that works. Fetish Psychopaths, again, the #1 talent for this spec, because you want more and more. The more fetishes you have, the more damage you're doing. Period. End of story. Those fetishes hit like trucks. You need to get them out and keep them out, and just as many as you can have, the better. You can never just overload on them. They are an awesome, awesome attribute to have, so keep that in mind. And then as far as the 4th one goes, this is where you can play around. If you're having survivability problems, you know, you can use Jungle Fortitude, you can use Midnight Feast if you want to get, you know, more pet damage out of your dogs and your Gargantuan. You can use Gruesome Feast if you want to do the orb pickup, because your pets are doing most of the damage anyway. So if you want to just run around, pick up orbs, get that nice mana boost, as well as that int boost to really hit harder for your pets, you can do that too. It's really kind of your play style. If you're grouping or soloing, really up to you how you want to play that. Again, really completely 100% up to you. So, you know, let me know what you guys think of this build. Again, I'm going to go ahead and let the riff finish out here. But this spec, again, I've been having a lot of fun with it, and I don't even have all the gear yet. I'm really excited to actually see all the gear once I get it, because it's going to be pretty sweet. This is a really fun spec. You can really do a lot higher torments. You can be in groups, and you can still be very viable in a group setting with this build. The only thing that I have seen some people switch out is zombie dogs for like totem, or Piranha Nado for totem, should there be someone else in the group, like a wizard who can suck everything in, a monk, you know, anyone who can draw everything in and allow you to not have to use that Piranha Nado. But you do have to remember that your Piranha Nado does give you that damage boost, everything it sucks in. So you do get a damage boost for your entire group when that happens. So keep that in mind as well, as a Piranha Nado is not a bad thing to have, ever. But yeah, guys, hope you guys like this video. Thank you for watching, and as always, see you in the next one.